Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another FIFA 22 video where today we are going to be doing another tactic video, and that formation today is going to be the 4-3-3-2. Now this is the way that I have the team set up. Obviously it's a pretty good team, could be a lot better, but today we're going to be checking out the 4-3-3-2 formation, a formation that this is a formation that I generally start my games in because this is how my team sets up for chemistry reasons. So I have a set of tactics that I've been using for that, and I wanted to give this formation a try. I wanted to try some new formations. I didn't want to be boring just staying with the same ones all the time. So today we are in the 4-3-3-2, and these are the tactics that I am using at the moment for this formation. Now defensive style, we're on balance at the moment. Now you can use a press in this formation. Now 4-3-3s are good formations to press in, and definitely a press is becoming more popular in FIFA. Certainly a lot of my champs games or rivals games this week that I've been playing, a lot more people have been using press. Not so much press after possession, it's more pressure on heavy touch, I would say. So I would say if you're going to play with a press, I would recommend playing on one of these two. I wouldn't recommend the constant or possession loss because I think they're a little bit too aggressive and will leave you more exposed than anything else. In terms of the defensive width, we're going to be going on around about 45, little bit narrower because I want to be a bit more compact defensively. I don't mind giving up a little bit of width on the wings when I'm defending, but I want to be a little bit more compact in that midfield area. In terms of depth, we're going to be playing on around about 60. I think again, when it comes to 4-3-3 formations, because it's quite attacking, it's quite an attacking setup, you do want to try and play with a higher depth if you can. In my opinion, I think that works best. I think when you play with a higher depth than a 4-3-3, I think you get more out of it. I think if you play a lot deeper, if you're someone who maybe plays on like 40 or 45, I don't think you get the best out of the 4-3-3, any version of the 4-3-3. I think the higher the depth that you play, the more effective that it will be. In terms of the offensive build-up play, we are going to be playing on long ball. This, I think, is the go-to when it comes to 4-3-3s. I think the way that this formation, it works very well. You have to think about the way that Liverpool play. Liverpool play this similar type of formation to this. Maybe you could argue it's a 4-3-3-5 with sort of Firmino as a centre forward, but it's still kind of the same principle. Long ball works very, very well, especially if you've got pace. You know, using wingers, of course, you're going to have some pace. In the attacking positions, left wing, right wing, and striker, you should have a lot of pace, you know, if you want to play in that 4-3-3. So long ball work very, very well. Those guys will make those runs in behind. And then the chance creation on direct passing will work very, very well as well. Because think about it, the way that Liverpool play with those wingers, you know, Salah and Mane make those darting runs inside the fullbacks and defenders, and that allows you to obviously have a lot more chances created. Now, it does mean that your midfield will open up slightly. However, in a 4-3-3, it is more of an attacking formation, so you should accept that it is going to be a little bit more open than maybe some other formations. In terms of the offensive width, this one is a little bit down for interpretation. Now, there is a thought for playing on a narrow defensive width because the wingers, if they have a narrower starting position, they're going to be more involved in the game in terms of chance creation, in terms of goals and assists. So if you want your wingers involved, you're going to have to play with a narrower width. However, it is going to mean that your opponent is going to be able to play out of your press maybe a lot easier because they're always going to have the wings open the narrower you play. And if you go then wider and you decide to go for maybe 70-75 on your width, your wingers are going to stretch your opponent's team out, but it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to pass because there's going to be bigger spaces between your players and your midfield is going to be a lot more open. So for me, with it being a wing formation, I still want to have some width, so I still want to play with the width in the formation. So we're going to go on around about 60. Still is going to allow us to have that compact midfield, but it's still going to allow us for those wingers to play as wingers because I'd rather them play as wingers and kind of create space and opportunities for other players in the team. So in terms of the instructions, of course, the goalkeeper is going to be on combs, crosses, and sweeper keeper. Now, in this formation, as we've mentioned in previous videos, when there is width in front of a fullback, whether that be left mid, left wing, right wing, whatever it may be, I always find for me, that means that the defenders, the fullbacks, need to be on stay back while attacking. Because if there's width in front of the fullback, I don't think that then you need to risk your fullbacks going forward. You may as well have the compact, you know, solidarity of a back four rather than having your fullbacks unnecessarily going forwards and potentially causing you harm. So in this instance, because we have the wingers, we're going to have the two left and right backs. We're going to have the left and right backs both on stay back while attacking. In terms of Kante in this midfield slot, pretty much the standard stuff when it comes to it. It's going to be on cut passing lanes, but I'm going to be having him on drop between defenders. Now, I've been using this drop between defenders. Now, it works best with a single DM. So when you have formations like this that have a single DM, I find the drop between defenders works very, very well, because it's kind of like, in a way, especially with the back four that we have, it almost becomes a back five, which makes it a lot more difficult to break you down. You're a lot more solid. But if you're someone like me and you do like to occasionally drag players out of position, it's okay if you drag Kante or an Alaba or Marquinhos, because then you'll still have your back four. So it's okay to be able to pull players out. So if you're someone that's prone to doing that, the drop between defenders will work exceptionally well, because you can drag Kante out of that back five. He can now do all your pressing for you, especially someone like Kante, who's obviously amazing. And then you've still got your back four in position. You're not pulling those defenders out of position. And if you want to be good at defending, you need to not pull your actual defenders out of position. Now, in terms of the two outside midfielders, we've got Firmino and Pogba, both going to be on balanced attack, because I do want them to get forwards, but I also want them to get back and defend. But I am going to have them on get into the box for crosses. I'm going to get on to why. And the reason why is because we're going to have the wingers also on get into the box for crosses, but we're going to have the wingers a lot more narrow in the way that we tell them to play. So I just want to have more bodies going forwards, more bodies getting into the box, because we've got Kante, Mendy, Alaba, Marquinhos, and Hakimi, and Donnarumma. We've got 6 players back, so I can afford to send a couple more forwards, even if we do get countered a little bit. The fact that we have that back 5 now with Kante dropping in, you know, we can still pull someone out. We've still got someone always going to be back to be able to stop those counter-attacks. You know, we still are going to have 5-6 players back, so we should still be able to deal with any counter-attacks. So we can afford these guys to go forwards and join the attack and make it easier to score. In terms of Bernardo Silva, the striker, now Bernardo Silva, you know, often for me did get subbed off very, very quickly because he wasn't very good in that striking role. I tend to put Son in that striking role, but stay central and getting behind, of course, wants to be on stay central, in my opinion, because we've already got wingers, so we've already got plenty of width in this formation, so we don't need the striker drifting out to the left wing, to the right wing. He needs to stay in the box and be that goal scorer for you. And then in terms of the wingers with Son and Salah, both are going to be on cut inside. And this is because we don't have the fullbacks going forwards. So I want these guys getting drifting inside, getting more involved with Pogba, Firmino, Silva in the build-up play. So we want those guys cutting inside and being part of the game. In terms of getting behind as well, obviously if you've got fast players, you want them to be getting in behind. And then, as we've explained, getting into the box. Want more players getting into the box, supporting the strikers to be able to score goals, because we've got plenty of players back defending. So that is it for my 4-3-3-2. A very good formation. I was very, very surprised with this formation. It played very, very well. Actually suited my play style quite well. I liked how it played, and it was very, very good. Would I say it's necessarily quote-unquote meta? No, I probably wouldn't say it's meta at all, but I actually really enjoyed this formation. Thought it was very, very nice, and definitely a surprise. So if you want to try this formation out, do let me know down in the comment section how these worked for you, whether they worked well or didn't work well. Make sure you drop a thumbs up and subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. But as always, guys, have an awesome day. I'm out.